And as always, I'm joined in the box.
Check.
And I'm joined in the box here with Marvin Dillon. And Merv, good afternoon to you once again. And we are here for the second semi-final with the news. Alma Safi from Afghanistan is already in.
Yeah, they batted beautifully. Good afternoon to everybody.
So we are all set here. We get the signal from umpire Samuels. And we could be on our way here. Gajanan Singh will be the man on strike.
Young Singh, I actually bowled a few balls against him. Pretty handy, very talented young man. Was really impressed with the few times I saw him bat. So it would be interesting to see if he would be getting and to get off in this innings.
Yes, Merv, Gajanan Singh would have started his junior career having represented Guyana at the regional junior level and then went on to play for the West Indies. Would have been on the same West Indies on the 19th side with the likes of Kyron Pollard and Sunil Narayan at one point, and then, of course, went on to play senior cricket for Guyana. So he's very watchful of the first ball, as Santoki certainly is a very crafty customer.
Yeah, definitely going to be a good competition here. Something that I said to Young Singh, I don't see any reason why you're not involved at the first class level. He has all the shots, very talented, and I think it's just to channel that. And something that he can really go on to do good things because he has the talent, definitely.
Just check it. Can you hear me?
So he gets on inside edge and will run away towards the fine leg boundary. Streaky but effective, Merv. Sometimes it doesn't matter how they come. They're off to a good start. They're 4 without loss.
Yeah, we all need a bit of luck sometimes. So that should get him off. A bit unfortunate there for Santoki, but some luck for Gajanan Singh.
Certainly, Merv, on another day, that will be dragged onto the stumps. But today, it passes the stump, passes rammed in, and it goes away for 4. So relatively a good start here from Gajanan Singh. And, of course, the scorebook will never reflect what kind of shot it was.
No, it doesn't say that, not at all. It just says 4 runs, right?
And cricket has always been a numbers game. So whatever brings the numbers up are good, and whatever brings the numbers down, certainly not good. Gajanan Singh off and running here. He's on 5. And bring Jaskaran Malhotra, who has had a good domestic record here on American soil. But I was telling him last night that he was in the commentary box. He has set such a high bar for himself that in as much he's got 20s and he's got a couple of 30s in this tournament, by his standard, this is not a good series for him.
Definitely, and like I said, the talent that he carries, I know he would be disappointed thus far and would definitely want to cash in, probably help his team to go to the finals.
So Santoki with 5 in the over so far. Ball going down the leg side, a diving rammed in. Oh, caught behind. So a wicket falls here. Jaskaran goes without scoring. Second ball. And Ramdin does all the rest.
As we were just saying, the luck. This one is edged down the leg side and he's out caught. So a bit of a strangle there for Santoki, but I'm sure he'll accept that.
Certainly, and certainly the catch taken by a world-class keeper. Dinesh Ramdin has been around international cricket for some time. He plays all 3 formats for the West Indies and have led the West Indies on many occasions. So a regulation wicketkeeper catch. And Dinesh Ramdin over the years, Merv, in as much as he has been in and out of the West Indies team from time to time, but wicket-keeping-wise, there's not a better wicket-keeper in the Caribbean from a wicket-keeping standpoint as better than Dinesh Ramdin.
Definitely. Dinesh has shown what he can do. I think, when you look at the whole concept, he definitely is the number one as far as, if you have a half a cricket brain, you would look and see that's the guy that should be in the job. Unfortunately, he has been in and out. Sometimes because he hasn't been as consistent with the bat. But the talent, I certainly believe he can play as a batsman as well. So he has the talent and just probably a bit more consistency in his efforts. And he can go on to play for quite a number of years. That is, Mr. Brown has anything to do with it.
So, yes, Merv, you're right on that. But point taken that these days, and especially in one-day international 50-over cricket and T20 cricket, you're looked upon as the wicketkeeper of choice when you start coming good with the bat, and not necessarily as being a specialist keeper these days.
Yeah, I think Mr. Dujon would have started that trend. So when you're a wicketkeeper, you're expected to contribute with the bat.
So Akeem Dotson comes out here at 5 for 1 as a number 3 batsman. Merv, it's not a good thing to be batting batting a ball that has only bowled 4 times. So he strokes this one up towards the offside. The ball knocked down there, and he will have to wait before he gets off the mark. So I remember just a couple of nights ago, we saw 22 yards just scampering to put pads on.
It's a funny game, so you always have to keep posted, keep your eyes on the game, because it can change really, really quickly.
So it's 5 for 1. They have lost the wicket of Jaskran Malhotra. Dismissed for a duck. Malhotra dismissed for what they would call a golden duck. Marv?
Yeah.
While,
you don't want to see too many of those. It's never a nice feeling.
And while the name sounds very nice, golden duck, it essentially means that you've gotten a first ball duck, and I understand if you got a second ball duck, it's called a silver duck, and a third ball duck, a bronze duck.
Well, it goes like the Olympics, I guess. Huh? That's the effort to try and get the sport into the Olympics.
Yes, Marvin. Actually, speaking of the Olympics and athletics, last night during the halftime, we saw 2 of the players. Big argument outside the stadium. Who is the fastest? Well, there's a big cricket field here, and we put them to the test. A fella by the name of McCarthy. He played for one of the team, and they took off running a 400 around this track, and this is a big 400 track, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, probably a little more than 400. Yeah.
So they went around the track, and it was McCarthy all the way. They were running a 400 meters. McCarthy wins by 100 meters.
And it should pay double. That bet should be paid double.
So sometime today, during the presentation ceremony, we do have that, the gold medal and the silver medalist. There were only 2 runners, unfortunately. So Elmore Hutchison has been given the ball, and Merv, it'll be quite interesting to see here 2 left-arm seamer.
Well, interesting enough, we always raced back when we played, and the only person that has ever beaten me in 100 meters is Ricardo Vowell. But he hasn't taken up the challenge. I tried to get him to race again, but he's never done. He kept the trophy.
I'll ask him about it. So here is Elmore Hutchison to Akeem Dotson. Dotson's trying to go through the onside, doesn't succeed. So we're seeing a lot of southpaws here. We're seeing a pair of southpaws in bowling. And both Akeem Dotson and Gajan Singh are left-handers.
Yeah, definitely. Dotson seems to be, they apparently must be batting well. They just seem to be quite positive in their approach thus far. And probably looking to make use of the first 6 was the power play, which is very important in this game because it's a really good batting wicket.
So ball cut away nicely here. Oh, what a stop. What a save by the man at cover. Certainly saved a couple of runs and perhaps a boundary. And finally, Akeem Dotson gets a single. He goes up to 2.
Those are the things that would give fast bowlers a little extra energy. When you have fielders supporting you like that, it's definitely something that inspires you.
And more, we always talk about the power play favoring the batsman, how the batsman should bat. But as a bowler, if you pick up a couple of wickets during the power plays, as we saw Santoki did, it sort of pushed them back a little bit.
Definitely, and it's always key, especially in this sort of version. Wickets always helps, despite whatever situation. So picking up wickets in the first, it puts the batsman side on the back foot, and they have to go back and reassess in terms of how they approach the innings.
So ball going down the leg side will be called a wide. Any ball that hasn't offered the batsman a fair opportunity to score, the rule says it shall be called a wide. That's the definition of what a wide is, Marv.
Yes, as far as cricket is concerned, bowlers are second-class citizens. We all know that.
and it's kind of interesting. While the rule says you've got to give the batsman a fair chance to scoring, you as a bowler have to restrict the batsman.
Exactly. So a lot of work.
So Elmore, this one is outside the off stump this time, and he goes for another wide. So it's 9 for 1. Gajanan Singh is on 5. Akeem Dotson is on 2. They have lost the service of Jaskran Malhotra.
Just to go on Hutch, it was a wide ball, but there was a bit of movement. That is what I saw and what I liked. So I think once he gets it online, that will be, especially against these left-handers. And
I was talking a little bit earlier to Gajanan. So that goes for 5 wide. So straight down the leg side, and Dinesh Ramdin never had a chance there at all. And it's 14 for 1, Murph.
Yeah, he would need it. He would have needed an extension there, a selfie stick to get that one.
So 14 for 1. And Murph, I was talking a little bit earlier on with Gajanan Singh, and he was of the opinion that to face 2 of these left-handers in the park today, he would rather take them onto the hot sunshine rather than tonight when the conditions could be very conducive to swing bowling, both Santoki and Elmore Hutchison.
Yeah, the ball does a lot more at night, obviously. Not all the time, but we've seen, talking to a few of the players that have been out there, it definitely does a lot more. It's been doing, especially the late games. So it would be interesting come this evening with the two teams that get into the finals.
And we've
Hope
seen
that will join the Afghanistan team, obviously.
And we've seen a bunch of left-arm seamers in this tournament. We have a pair here right now in Santoki and certainly Elmore Hutchison. We saw Najaf Shah, very tall man. In fact, someone was asking me if he is Mohammed Irfan, and I said no. And by the way, Mohammed Irfan taller than Joel Garner.
Yeah, but he did bowl really well, yes. Actually won the game for his team, so credit must be given to him on such a wicket. And to hit his Yorkers with the accuracy that he did, good on him.
And we also saw Mohammed Khalil, who would have played briefly at the international level, a couple of tests for Pakistan as batsman scampering for runs here. So good showing here by the Indian Lions, having won the toss and they decide they'll bowl first. So you've got to say things have gone relatively well. They're 15 for 1.
Yeah, it's always good, especially with the amount of first-class and international players that we have coming in for these tournaments. It all goes well for the future, and I can only imagine it will only get better because the teams are getting a lot better when you play against teams. There isn't a lot of weak teams anymore. Most of the teams are pretty decent, so it's going to build the cricket, and it's going to obviously raise the standard.
So ball getting an edge here from Akeem Dotson. He gets a single out to wide third man, takes the score up to 16 for 1. Gajanan Singh is on 6. He will be the man on strike. Akeem Dotson is on 3. Elmore has given up 10 in the over so far, 5 wides at 1 point.
Yeah, definitely a loosener there. That one, like we said, Ramden had no chance. And I'm sure Elmore would be trying to make up for that and get it right. Because he's a class bowler. He's been doing pretty well around US cricket for a number of years.
So 16 for 1. Not a bad start, but things I would say even here with the fall of Jaskaran's wicket. So that completes over number 2. And after 2, it's 16 for 1. They've lost Jaskaran Malhotra without scoring. Akeem Dotson is on 3. He will be the man on strike when play resumes here. And you're watching the U.S. All-Stars taking on Indian Lions in the second semi-final with the news Alma Safi out of Afghanistan will be the final, already in the final, having disposed of Houston Stallions.
I had some food poisoning, and I tried, but at the end of it, I had to forego that. And I think it was Stuart Williams.
Yeah, well,
Colin Stewart, sorry, I'm saying Stuart Williams, my good buddy.
Well, to just polish off here, so Marv Dillon started an over in Sri Lanka. He bowled a couple of balls and fell ill, and the ball was given to Colin Stewart. And Colin Stewart bowled a couple of beamers, and he was taken out of the game. And then Chris Gale had to finish things off. This ball is guided away. Good-looking shot here from Akeem Dotson. Runs away for 4. And the left-hander, he picks up a boundary. In fact, Gajanan Singh, the man on strike. And Gajanan Singh goes up to 10, short and wide, outside the off-stump, and Gajanan Singh gets 4 runs.
Definitely. And it shows how good the wicket is. He just got it in the gap, and it ran away. The outfield is quite quick as well.
So one of the over in recorded Test cricket history. Started by Marv Dillon, bowled a few by Colin Stewart, and finished off by Chris Gale. The only over in the history of Test cricket that took 3 men to finish.
Yep, you get into the record book no matter what you did.
So ball, a full toss, worked away over the onside, and it goes away quite quickly here. Gajanan Singh goes up to 14, a loose ball there from Santoki.
I don't think we'd be too happy with that. Despite a low full toss, he still had to put it away. So it's not all, you would see a lot of players with bad balls, and sometimes they would hit it directly to the fieldsman. So you still have to execute the shot. So some credit to him. And Santoki is normally very consistent, very hard to get away with all the tricks that he has.
So you've got to say a very good start here by U.S. All-Stars. They're batting at 26 for 1. This is just the third over of Merv, and they're going at over 9 and over. So a good recovery, considering they would have lost. They've lost a wicket in the first over, a partnership of 21. Gajanan Singh is on 15. He's batted fluently, and Akeem Dotson on 4.
Yeah, Indian Lions, they haven't been as consistent. They have a few loose balls. They have been bowling a few loose balls. The wides with from Elmore, now from Santoki. So we probably just need to be a little more consistent and let the batters work for their runs. Right now, we're giving it to them. So.
And more of what I've noticed from the Indian Lions setup. First of all, you got to talk about the leadership here. Ricardo Powell certainly brings sound leadership to the squad.
Yeah, and all the players have so much respect for him. So it's somebody that definitely, like I said, a good leader, very good cricket brain. And to have somebody like Ramdane on the field helping him as well, I know it's a really, really good combination. So he would work things out and assess things. The wicket looks even better today. So we should see a lot of runs, definitely.
So, of course, Ricardo Powell leading the charge out in the middle. And, of course, yourself being part of the Indian setup. And then you look across a little bit earlier on. I saw Orlando Baker getting the boys out together and just making sure that things are right. And in U.S. cricket setup, there's not a better player than Orlando Baker.
Yeah, definitely. But he has been, like I said yesterday, he's somebody that you know. Once you talk about U.S. cricket, you mentioned Orlando Baker. So he has been around for a long time. Very talented guy. Even at his age, he still, keeps himself pretty fit. So it's good to see. You have a lot of players still trying to, especially with the younger players around. Having those guys will definitely help.
So a short ball here from Elmore Hutchison, pulled away nicely here by Gajanan Singh. He picks up another boundary. He goes up to 19. And another short ball from Elmore Hutchison. Given the full treatment, is 30 for 1.
Yeah, Gajanan Singh is not going to go die wanting. He's going to give it a go. He's, like I said, very aggressive. And he definitely, it's not like he's a slum. He has the shot. So on this wicket, I don't think you want to be bowling too short to him.
Yes, Merv, we've seen a lot of bowler. Once they pitch it up, they seems to be doing well. And the minute you give the batsman a chance to go off the back foot, it hasn't gone well. So you have played at the international level. You know what a strip like this would really take from a fast bowler. Yeah,
you have very little room for any mistakes on this pitch. You have to be on point. I just say, as Ambrose would say, you got to hit the coin every time, or else the minute you're slightly off, the players are people like Gajan and Singh. They're gonna put you away. So
Singh on 19, he's batted well so far. Oh, he's cutting well. 4 more runs towards backward punch, short and wide. And that's the kind of shot left-handers or any handers would want to play. Gajanan Singh goes up to 23, is 34 for 1.
Yep, and we've seen the talent. Some very good shots from the young man. As I said, he has all the shots and a very dangerous player at the top of the innings.
So 2 short and 2 wide, 34 for 1. And Elmore Hutchison, he's bowled 9 balls. He's given up 18 runs, so certainly not good in T20 context. If you look across to Santoki, he's bowled 2 overs for 16. He's taking 1 wicket. Gajanan Singh on 23 is 34 for 1. 99 balls still to be bowled. And you're watching the second semi-final. And the Indian Lions team, a very strong lineup. Lopez taking a leave today.
Yeah, he did his hamstring in the game yesterday, and he definitely not feeling that well. So hopefully with some treatment throughout the day, he might be able to play the finals. But it's a hamstring, and it's normally a very dodgy area,
So coming down the track, not timing it well, and it has eluded Lendell Simmons, and finally goes up towards the long off boundary for a 4. Not timed well. Perhaps not in full control, but he gets 4 and he goes up to 27. Has gone Merv, not good here for Indian Lions.
Not good at all. Definitely a really good start here for the All-Stars. I'm sure they will be very happy thus far. Ricardo, on the other hand, and it was very similar yesterday. Probably wasn't as prolific, but we haven't bowled well in the power plays thus far. So hopefully we can work some magic as we did in the middle overs.
So Gajanan Singh has given All Stars a very rapid start. He has gone up to 20. He has gone up to 31 from just 16 balls. Akeem Dotson is on 4, and they've certainly made a big recovery here, having lost Jaskaran Singh off the very first ball that he had faced. And so things have really gone U.S. All Stars' way. They'll need a good platform here. Many in this competition feel that the U.S. All Stars they're top heavy, but they're a little bit soft in the middle.
Well, the way they're playing, you wouldn't mind being top heavy. They're definitely proving that theory, right? So The thing about Gajanan, he's Guyanese, so spin is normally you have players, opening batters who are very good at playing fast bowling and a little suspect to the spin. I don't think that's the case on this occasion. Coming from Guyana, he would have faced a lot of spin bowling, and he's quite adapted it.
Yes, Marv, and in fact, speaking of Gajanan Singh, he's one of a few dozens of players contracted by the Guyana Cricket Board. Like anything else, we know players offering professional contract is the thing these days in West Indies, and he's one of the contracted players on the Guyana team, which means he gets a stipend to concentrate on cricket and better himself.
I'm happy to hear that, definitely, because as I said, and I can't say it enough, that he's a really talented young player, and the fact that he's in the setup, which means it's up to him now to work to get himself, to the highest level, to the next level, and then obviously to the highest level.
So Dotson goes up to 5. Gajanan Singh is on 31. And they've made a very quick start here. They're 43 for 1. We're still in the power plays. We're still in over number 5.
Yeah, and this is the thing about Ricardo. He's always the one. He enjoys the challenge, and he will always come in the difficult situations as captain. You'll find some captains who might shy away from it, but no, he's always in it.
Yes, Marv, you're right on that. And of course, apart from providing good leadership, even at this time of his career, Ricardo Powell still holds his own as a batsman, as an off spinner, and boy, I tell you, he can still jump around the cricket field. And we looked the other night and saw Ricardo Powell feeling a backward point, and we know our international cricket well. We know that some of the best fielders in the world, they start at backward point, especially in the early stages of T20 cricket.
It's amazing. I mean, I remember him there when we played back in the day in one day international cricket, and just knowing that Ricardo is there, you just felt so much more comfortable because not much got past him, and he's always been so quick. Even now, he's still, he's still up there with the best in the world. When you look at him move, even at his age now, and hasn't played at the highest level for such a long time, it's amazing that he still moves the way he does.
And the fact is that is why he continues to play, because he can compete. Ball driven nicely here by Akeem Dotson. Beats the man within the 30-yard circle, and it goes away for 4. That's a good-looking shot from the left-hander.
Yeah, definitely. Both players looking very comfortable at the moment. We definitely should be, I'm sure, looking to pick up a wicket or two here to kind of curb the run scoring, because they are scoring at a rapid rate. We would want to pull that back. And I say we as in the Indian Lions.
So projected score here looking to be like 214. So good one here for U.S. All-Stars. They've gotten off to a very good start. They're approaching a 50. And we're still in the power play overs. Oh, pulled away. Short ball. And manipulated through the onside. That's a good-looking shot from Akeem Dotson. He goes up to 13 and brings up the 50 here for U.S. All-Star. They're 52 for 1.
Yeah, they got there pretty quickly. A good score so far. A perfect start from the All-Stars. And like I said, Lions, the wicket is a very good wicket. So I think it's Ricardo has the experience. He knows, and he will assess that and understand it's a good wicket. And just keep fighting. You have to keep plugging away, and try and save as much runs as possible. Every run you save is one run less that you have to score.
So we see Ricardo Powell flexing the right arm, so he could be in a bit of discomfort here. Ball driven down the ground. Good looking shot here from Dotson. And 1 is added to the scorecard, 53 for 1. Dotson goes up to 14, brings Gajanan Singh on 32. I'm not too sure if with the little discomfort we've seen from Powell here, if he'll need a couple of bowlers to finish his over.
And he also got hit yesterday while batting, so he has a bit of a sore leg. But he's a fighter, and he will fight through.
So 5 gone is 54 for 1, with Gajanan Singh on 33 not out, and Akeem Dotson on 14. We'll quickly bring in Vinod here, and Marv is 54 for 1. A very quick start here by U.S. All-Stars.
The perfect start.
And it did so much. Looking at this lineup and looking at the what has played off in the series so far, Gajanan Singh seems to be one of the key players. A lot depends on him. I think getting his breakthrough is something that the Lions would really want.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, he's such a positive player that if he bats for any length of period, he's going to score runs. I think the only way you're going to stop him is to get him out, because once he's there, he's going to score runs and score quickly.
Yes, definitely. And we're going to see Danza Hyatt missed out in the last game. He's back, has been used as an effective bowler.
Yeah, Danza, he didn't play yesterday. He was a bit sore after the first day. Some issues with his shoulder. But you look at him, he's a very strong guy. So I'm sure he will fight it out, and hopefully he can put a bowler spell here to help his captain to pull things back a bit, because it's needed. We don't want them to run away to anything over 180 or anything like that.
There's a delivery pitch on his leg, and it's picked up, and he's out caught. Danza Hyatt continues to be the man with the golden arm here.
And he goes straight to Ramdin, as usual.
And, of course, he goes to Ramdin to rub it in. That delivery, pretty lucky, though. That delivery was overpitched on the legs, and Gajanan Singh will be kicking himself, having gotten dismissed in that manner, clipping that one straight to the mid-wicket boundary. He's on his way for 33, faced just 18 deliveries, and the second U.S. All-Stars wicket has fallen.
That's the thing, Vinod. I've played long enough to understand that you do need a bit of luck sometime. So that's some luck for the Indian Lions there. Like I said, a half volley on leg stump and straight to the fielder at a deep backward square. So not a very good shot from Gajanan. Probably didn't time it as well, or timed it too well, that it got all the way to the fielder on the boundary.
Yes, and he's trudging off. A very disappointed man.
As he should be, huh?
Yes, definitely. And here comes skipper Hassan Raza. At the post-match interview yesterday, I'd asked him, if he's batting well and there has been some problems with his lineup, if he would consider promoting himself in the order. But he has actually done it. He's now coming in at number 4, because previously he was coming in at 5. And I think what he needs to do now is to get the rest of the guys to bat around him and take it from there. They've made a very promising start. As Lenny was saying, the projected score 214, now it's 208. And always after the power play, when you look at projected scores, it's going to give you a score that could be contaminated, so to speak, because of the fact that the field is in, and they could take advantage of that. But this is a crucial period. As I said before, moving whilst doing commentary with you, I believe that the middle overs are so crucial in determining what score you get.
Yeah, and this is where we've been picking up wickets in the game yesterday, and today again we just picked another one, which is a good thing. We haven't started pretty well, but we seem to come into it, in the middle overs. So hopefully we can do the same thing today and really restrict the team, because yesterday they were projected to score 170, 180 with the start they had as well, and we managed to get them out for 124. So.
Well, Mr. Hart is not so lucky on this occasion. He continues down that leg stump line and is clipped away there by Dodson down to the long leg boundary for 4. The score has now progressed to 58 for 2. You're making the point, Moody.
Yeah, and even if you look at the wicket, it just seems a lot fresher than it was yesterday. So one has to wonder, and it would be a bit of a concern for Ricardo, how well the spinners will do, because they were key in the game yesterday, young Alexander and Sonny. So it would be when they do get a chance to bowl, it would be nice to see how they were and how the ball comes off the pitch, and I suppose that will have a huge impact in terms of how many runs they score.
Definitely, that is the idea. Dotton gets a single down to long on, and that continues. So you've been around the team, of course. You've been an official of the team, a player official. What has been the mood of the squad? And in particular, Hyatt, after those wicket-taking performances.
Well, now he looks at me now, because I kind of I'm a bit of a manager coach, because I'm not playing, so I'm more into that side of it, to try and help out as much as I can. So when it comes to massage therapy, he wants to be the first one, because he's the most important player at the moment. So you have to massage the big dogs, as we call them, first. He's earned that right.
Well, he's doing a job here, just back of a length, and this delivery is played down by the very experienced Hassan Raza, the third man for a single. The score goes on to 60 for 2, and Hyatt continues his work. He has taken 1 for 6 after 4 deliveries.
Yeah, and when you look at the camp,
Hyatt again, still the over continues. Will he ever end this over? train down the leg side, and that's a wonderful shot there from Hassan Raza, just allowing that delivery to come on to him and placing it expertly down to the deep backward square leg boundary for 4. 65 for 2 after 7.
Hyatt completing his first over, 1 for 11. The wicket probably, 5 or 6 too many runs in the over, but the wicket definitely was a plus for them. Gajanan Singh, who was going great guns. So it was very nice to see the back of him, and you have to give some credit to Hyatt.
Well, that was the key wicket in my estimation. Gajanan Singh has been batting well at the top of the order for the US All-Stars. Yesterday he was saying that he was very disappointed that he was not carrying on. And we are seeing something that happens at the IPL. There's a team huddle, and then he calls it a strategic timeout.
That is just the experience of Ricardo. I played with him for a while now, and when he does this a lot, he will pull people together and just to remind them of what they're about and what the plans are, which I think is a very good move. So just to refresh people's mind, it has been a bit of up and down performance so far, so I think it was a good move to get the guys in and just remind them of what the plans are and what we talked about in the team meetings.
So far, 65 runs to the good. They've lost 2 wickets, the US All-Stars. And you look at the batting of the US All-Stars, and to me, it's pretty thin.
Well, that's one of the things that we discuss. But one of the things I always remind the guys in the team meetings, cricket is played on the day. And so you have to go out there and kind of assess things and be able to think on your feet. We might make plans the night before, the morning before the game, but sometimes that changes. Depend on the different plays that you might have discussed, and someone else might come out and totally prove you wrong. So it's just a game, and you have to be able to think quickly and be able to react to different situations when you get out there.
Camillus Alexander from the far end, the leg spinner. This one played down to a short third man, no run.
A good start from Alexander from where he left off yesterday. He was very key. He was key in the game. Picked up the first 3 wickets, and basically, cut the legs out of our opponents yesterday. So hopefully he can repeat his performance. He's normally a very consistent bowler, and as I mentioned, the wicket looks a lot fresher than it did yesterday. So we have to wait and see how.
And he's bowled him. A beautiful delivery there by Alexander. That one touchdown just outside the off stump and struck the top of the leg stump. And that's a Shane Warne lookalike delivery.
Yeah, that was a beautiful delivery. Absolutely beaten all ends up. And Alexander again. I said he got into the team due to the injury of Mr. Hyatt yesterday, and now he's proving to be, proving that was a good decision. We might look at it, we lost Hyatt and as a negative, but he has come in and he has done really, really well. And this is what you want from teams, and this is how good teams perform and continue to dominate. Because, as I said, when you have people like Baker and Davidson on the bench, it just shows the strength in the team. And Alexander definitely is holding his own as a bowler in the team thus far. And congratulations to him. Excellent wicket.
Yes, and he was actually stumped by Ramdin for 20. And Ramdin is so quick. They deceived us here moving.
Yeah, our eyes a bit slow for Mr. Ramdin. He's too quick for us.
Yes, he is. And I think that has really, really given the Indian Lions the upper hand now. 65 for 3, and we were discussing that this batting order is a bit thin as you go down. As Lenny said it perfectly, it's top heavy. And Dilhara Lukaheti is the new batsman in, and he has loads of experience. He would need to work through this difficult period with Raza. What do you think might be a good score on this track moving?
I think a pass score on this track would be probably 180. Mm-hmm. If to give yourself a chance, you would want to push probably about 200 because the wicket is that good. And if you're US All-Star management and you look at Indian Lions lineup, you probably have to get something in the region of 200 to be competitive. That's what I believe.
I think that's a fair assessment of the conditions out there. delivery, just a little too wide from Alexander. Going further away, of course, Alexander being a leg spinner.
Good stop by Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons, of course, one of the better fieldsmen in West Indies cricket.
He isn't that as agile at the moment. His back is still a bit sore. He's just coming back from injury, so a bit limited, but we know what he's capable of in the field.
Has been batting beautifully.
He hasn't gotten out yet.
Bit of a one-sided semi-final this morning. Everyone were expecting that the Stallions would run away victors there. Didn't happen.
Well, we kind of betted. When we talked about this morning, one of the things it's quite possible that Stallions would be the team that will meet in the finals. Unfortunately, the Afghanistan team, I looked at them bat, and I was very impressed with the stroke play. They just, took the game away, and they batted beautifully.
End of 7, 68 for 3. I'll tell you something, though. You have 8 or 9 national players in the setup. Afghanistan are actually playing ODI cricket now. They've reached that status. So these guys, and they're also playing 2020 internationals. So these guys are, they've been on the international scene. They bring that sort of experience into this tournament. And there are some of those players are very, very explosive. I like the look.
I like the word you use, explosive.
Yes, they are. Tariqi at the top of the order. Ahmadi's another one. And then you look at the fast bowler. I particularly have a lot of time for the fast bowler. He runs some close to the side screen, and he has a beautiful, smooth run up. And he hit good areas and at pace.
Yeah, I like the approach to the game. Obviously, they've been doing really well, as you said. They're playing ODI cricket now. I just like how they play the cricket. They're very positive, and there seems to be a lot of talent in there. I don't know a lot of the players individually, but you look at the team. I look at the way they batted this morning. I remember seeing them play a couple games in Trinidad, and I was very impressed with the way they went about their business. So
they actually won that tournament, if you remember.
Yep.
As Patel takes up the attack from his southern end, his second delivery. And no run conceded just yet from his bowling.
Excellent work by Randin, saving a couple of runs here. He's just so quick, very agile.
Very, very good wicketkeeper in my opinion. But Raza would be disappointed. Sorry, not Raza, but Lukaheti would be disappointed he didn't take advantage of that. This is a wide one, just as Mervyn Dillon and I were praising in the Ramden. He misses this one. It's down the leg side, goes for a wide. So actually 5 runs added to the total, which should now read 73 for 3.
Yeah, badly lined Dougley there. They probably didn't give Ramden any chance, but he's that good. You probably would expect him to get that one.
But he actually got it, and it went straight through his gloves. 3/4 of the work of a wicketkeeper is actually getting to the ball. Some of the less flashy ones will normally use footwork.
Well,
the others tend to fly about the place.
I played for a number of years with one called Ridley Jacobs, and he wasn't the best looking, but when it came to efficiency, you couldn't ask for a better person. He was just, he wasn't the most flashy, but somehow he just got there and he got the job done. He took the catches. It's very rare that he dropped any catch. He was just amazing. He wasn't the natural wicketkeeper, the Jeffrey Dujon, the Dinesh Ramdin, or even the David Williams, but he was different, but very, very efficient.
Yes, he was very effective indeed. Not the prettiest.
Yes, I think that's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I don't think he's someone you'll take home to meet your parents. But I'll tell you something, if you have to depend on a man taking a catch to save your house, you will send it to Ridley Jacobs.
Yes, definitely.
Not a bad over from Patel there in the end. Just the one delivery that went for 5 wides. And at the end of over number 8, it's 75 for 3. In your time, Mervyn, who would have been in and around the regional setup and the West Indies setup as well, who would have been probably the best wicketkeeper at that time?
One of the best wicketkeepers that I've seen, despite being at the youth level, I always go back to MAQ from Trinidad. He was exceptional and was very unfortunate not to play for Trinidad and Tobago and even the West Indies. As you know, David Williams was occupying that spot, so it wasn't the easiest person to move out. But MAQ amazing to watch.
He would have been one of your colleagues at the West Indies Players Association when
Yes,
you
yes.
were there. And I was also there for a while at the West Indies Players Association. I think I lasted about 4 months. And I asked Mr. Ramnarayan for leave to go to the Guardian, and I never went back.
Oh, God. But, I mean, David Williams, class act. He was just amazing. Exceptional keeper, tremendous talent. He wasn't the biggest guy, but he got there, and he was just the most amazing. He was just agile and very, very quick. I think sometimes he even beat the umpires in terms of how quick he was.
Yes, David, of course, a very hard worker, and he continues to do good work as this delivery is lapped around the corner by Luca Hetty into the boundary for 4, and a bad line there by Alexander and punished. Well, David continues to do a lot of good work in Trinidad and Tobago. I think he's in charge of the South Zone setup, and every week you will see him coming out with the youngsters and doing his thing. Man loves cricket.
One of the things I've always been impressed with him as a coach is his work ethic. Is second to none. He's a very hard worker, and he pushes you, and only because he wants the best in you. And as a coach, he has done really, really well. He's probably getting down a bit in age now, so he had to make room. But somebody that is very passionate about the game and always had a good rapport with the players.
Well, I remember, speaking of Williams being a pint-sized man, I remember once he took a catch off your bowling and you ran up to congratulate him, and he could have never given you a high five.
Yeah, we had to cut that to 2.5. It couldn't be a high five.
2.5 five.
2.5.
He was actually hugging you, and his head was by your waist.
I was fortunate to see him and Ambrose a couple of times as well, and it was always the funniest thing to see.
That was comical.
Oh, God.
Well, I was told recently by your cousin Ian that during the days of West Indies playing with Ambrose, end of the over number 9, it's 82 for 3, with the days of Ambrose and these guys playing for the West Indies. David Williams was actually used once as an emergency field man, and he came down to the Oval and made and committed the cardinal sin of putting his cricket bag in Curtly Ambrose's slot.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to mess with Ambrose's spot. He has a spot at every single ground, and everybody walks in the dressing room, and that is Ambrose. So don't even go close to that corner because he's owned it.
Yes, and Bishop said that Ambrose yelled out, "Who's in my spot?" And Willie crept around and removed his bag very easily.
And the funny thing is that they are best of friends. Like you wouldn't like to see them greet each other. After they have not seen each other for a while, they have always remained good friends, and it's so much fun whenever they get together.
Wonderful shot by Raza, and this is where experience comes in. Paul on that occasion pulling that one down, and Raza with the full knowledge that Simmons is pretty straight at long on, and the man at the mid-wicket boundary is quite away from Simmons as well, and he was able to just pick a spot and put it for 4, and that is key. When you get a bad ball, you must take advantage if the runs are drying up.
Yeah, quality players on this pitch, you don't have much space for error, so someone such as Raza, who's ideal for this type of position to bat through the middle overs, he can work the ball and he can also pick up the boundaries when you're off your line. So he definitely, like I said, he's set in a good position. Hopefully the guys around him can bat and put on some partnerships, which will take them to a decent score. I'm sure, and as I said, I know they will be looking for something in the region of 180, 200.
Yes, and you're speaking about working the ball, and that is exactly what he did. After hitting a 4, he was able to work the ball nicely into the gap and get 2.
Yeah, it seems to be very similar to Dinesh Ramdin. He seems to have a very good eye, works the ball on both sides of the wicket, and if you're off, he's going to put it away.
He continues to pick up the singles, and that's so important. it's 2020 cricket. You don't have to hit away every delivery. You pick up the singles, 3 or 4 and over. You get a bad delivery, and all of a sudden you've gotten 8 or 9 runs off the over.
Yeah, and he understands that. And the wicket is as such, you get good value because it's a very good wicket. The ball comes on to the batsman. I've seen some really, really good shots without much power, just pure timing, and they have all gotten good value for it. So very good one-day wicket, and the outfield is pretty fast as well.
Good delivery by Powell on this occasion, but of course the field set back, and Raza being able to get a single.
91 for 3 after 10 overs. That we're at the halfway mark now. Hopefully we, and I say we as in the Indian Lions, I know they will be looking to put in a few good overs here to put some pressure on the US All-Stars. And I'm sure young Raza will have different plans. He would probably want to, keep the run rate going. And
So welcome back. Thank you, Marv. Thank you, Vinod. It's 91 for 3. Make that 92 for 3. We're into the second 10. 59 balls remaining. With 59 balls remaining. It's 92 for 3. Delhara is on 9. Hassan Raza's, he's on 18. As we watch Camelas Alexander, former Windward Island first-class player. Dilhara, the man on strike, he's on 9. It's 18 to Raza. And ball driven up towards long off. They go through for 1. So welcome back, Ivor Henry. We're beginning to see a nice little partnership here between Hassan Raza, who has played at the Pakistan international level at one time. And, of course, Dilhara, he's on 10. He's had a lot of batting to do. Oh, it beats the man, a backward point. That's Lendl Simmons. And it goes away for 4 off the bat of Hassan Raza. He goes up to 22 and takes the score up to 97 for 3. A good-looking shot beating Simmons for 4.
Yes, indeed. And they're inching towards the 100 mark there. They're going at a good clip, 9.1. And Simmons, he has nursing a back injury, but at the same time, when he's wheeling the willow like he would have done last night, no signs of any injury. He batted with Ricardo Powell in tandem. They did a beautiful job.
So a projected score of 182, 56 balls remaining. Raza is on 22. He's batted well. And now he picks up his 23rd run. And a good man to bat in the middle here in a time when they would have lost a couple of quick wickets. Dilhara is on 10. He is supported well. And a partnership of 33. 55 balls still to be bowled as Camelas Alexander. Ball driven straight down the ground. So they're beginning to score 6 and 7 and over, and all because of some singles and twos along the ground. Ivor?
Yes, they're playing it right. There's a lot of wickets still in the hut, 7 of them, and we're just about the halfway mark. And just how many? 11 overs. So we've gone past the halfway mark, and the projected score, like you said, it's 180. I'm going to give them a little bit more than that if they're not going to be losing wickets.
So Ricardo Powell, 2 overs, no made, none for 21. Let's look at some bowling figures here as we get a chance. Santoki, 2 overs, no made, 1 for 15. Elmore, 2 overs, no made, none for 26. He is taking some stick. Danza Hyatt, 1 for 11. He got 1 wicket. Then Camelas Alexander, 3 overs, no made, 1 for 19. Sonny Patel, his first over cost him 7 as Ricardo Powell continues. And Dilhara gets a good ball, turns it into the onside. And they go through quickly for a single. So that brings up the 100 here for US All-Stars. They're batting at 100 for 3. With Hassan Raza on 23 not out. Dilhara is on 12. And the partnership between the pair has gone up to 35 valuable runs. And Ricardo Powell continues. He's bowling at none for 22 at the moment. Make that none for 23. And Hassan Raza on 24. Dilhara on 12. And it's 101 for 3. And I think we will welcome Audley into the box. 101 for 3, Audley.
Looking very good so far for the Indian All-Stars.
U.S. All-Stars.
Oh, U.S. All-Star. U.S. All-Star, sorry.
So Indian Lions takes on U.S. All-Stars. Al-Masafi has already played themselves into the final, so the winner here will play Al-Masafi, the Afghan team. So ball turned into the onside. We're beginning to see smart batting here from Raza and Dilhara, oddly. They have now put on 38-run partnership, and we haven't seen blazing shots, but runs along the carpet beginning to add up here.
They're doing exactly what is needed right now.
And there goes another single. So good batting here from Dilhara and Hassan Raza. Raza is on 25. Dilhara is on 14. We've got 49 balls remaining.
And I must say the pitch is still looking very shine.
So ball driven towards the offside. Santoki comes across. Single was always on. And so Ivor, 12 gone. It's 105 with 348 balls to be bowled.
Very, very good over there by the youngster, Ricardo Powell, captain. And we're saying that they're holding the rein. They would have started off in a canter, scoring some 60-odd runs in the first power play. But now I think that they're holding the reins. But this is the second of two semifinals, and I can't help but saying it. The winner stays and the loser goes home.
So Raza on 26 will be the man on strike. Kamalas Alexander. Right arm leg spinner. Bowled well last night. And in fact, along with Sonny Patel and Ricardo Powell, perhaps. I'm missing a player who would have taken 3 wickets. There were 9 wickets taken in the game. 3 by Kamalas. In fact, Lopez is the man. 3 by Carlitos Lopez, and certainly 3 by Sonny Patel. Ball tugged into the onside, short ball, and turning away. And Hassan picks up 27. And oddly, you've got to be impressed here by the partnership of Dilhara and Hassan. It's 41 now.
Very steady, I must say, very steady. They are doing exactly what is needed at the moment for their team.
So 46 balls remaining. Alexander continues. Oh, no elevation. They get a single. And while, of course, we're coming down to the latter part here, 45 balls remaining. At some point, they may have to take a couple of risks here to try to speed things up.
Well, it's a good wicket. This one is flicked off the pad very nicely. They're going to be running a relaxing 2 as the throw comes in now to wicketkeeper Dennis Ramden. Take the total on up now to 109. Razak is on 29 from 22 deliveries. And the other batter, 15 from 18. What's his first name?
So ball cut away nicely here by Dilhara. Will pick up a single. Single will take him up to 16. Raza is on 28, and in fact they'll make that 2. So 2 off the bat of Dilhara. He goes up to 17, I think it is, and the score goes up to 110 for 3.
Yeah, 1 overthrow there, well needed. I would assume that once it reaches like the 15th over, we'll see some buccaneering type of batting by the batters because they are setting the pace. Make sure that the opponents will never get the total.
Yes, well, it's 1-1-1. The Nelson is on the board for 3 wickets. Batsman is driving into the offside, goes to the man in the extra cover region, can't score. Dot goes into the scorer's book. So we have completed some 13 overs, 7 more to go, and 7 wickets in the hut for the U.S. All-Stars. Having
current strike rate 8.5, still impressive.
Right, so the U.S. All-Star, they would have won the toss, called right, and elected to bat. So they're setting a target, and they're doing pretty good at this time. They can launch maybe in the next 2 overs or so. They're keeping wickets in the hut. But Ricardo Powell and the boys, an experience set on the field, they're going to try to hold the reins. Remember, I'm going to keep saying this. To get into the semifinals was hard work. Yesterday was all quarterfinals. Now, to get to the finals, it's not going to be any easy picking. Both teams deserve to be here. They are here. But somebody has got to win. Somebody has got to lose. That's why they set it as a 2020. There is no draw in the 2020 format. So, winner stays, and loser go home. This is one pitch outside the leg stump. A free hit, if you would ask me, if you would have hit the pad. In the meantime, the batters would have crossed for one, so we're off the Nelson and we're gone to 112 for the loss of 3 wickets.
Can I ask what followed the Nelson?
Spring. Nelson Spring. Batsman gets on the back foot, punches to extra cover, can't score.
Or some of the
Batsman gets on the back foot, punches out. The man from the deep mid-wicket area runs in the mid-on area, picks up. The batters, in the meantime, ambles through for a single. 113 for 3. So Patel, right arm, bowling over the wicket. This one is punching past the man at point and past the short third man and down to the boundary for 4.
beautiful late cut. Once it passed that fielder, it was going to be 4 all the way. Someone was shouting when I asked Ivor what follows Nelson, and someone was saying Mandela.
Well, he's right. 117 for 3.
Well, I know in Nevis we have a place we call Nelson Spring, so I went back home into little tiny 36 square mile island of Nevis.
So ball on the leg stump here, a wide signal by the umpire, so that'll take the score up to 118 for 3. Still 38 balls remaining.
And Nelson Spring comes, if you know your history, Horatio Nelson. He would have landed right there with Nevis, and we called the place Nelson Spring where he landed.
So Patel continues right arm next spinner. He asks his question. Oh, he's gone. So Hassan, in fact, Dilhara goes. He falls for 21. Leg before up the bowling of Sonny Patel. It's 118 for 4.
And as usual, it wouldn't be long before I take a wicket while I sit in this seat. It's been happening time and time again. It's the commentator's curse for someone of the batters. I have not sat here on resumption and would have batted out 3 overs before a wicket would have fallen. But the batter think he was hard done. He thought he was a good way down the wicket. But that's not saving you any these days, because the projected pathway of the ball, even if he hit you halfway down the wicket, if the umpire has a good eye and he thinks he would hit the stump, he would go ahead and raise that dreaded finger. We do not have the television review here system today. We do not have the hotspot or anything like that, but the umpire in his wisdom thought, although he was dancing down the wicket, got hit about 3/4 way down the wicket, he thought he was plumb LBW oddly.
Ivor, in that case, with your sort of a record, and if I was the captain of the opposing team, I would demonstrate against having you in the commentator's box, because you're going to take wickets.
They don't have a choice. That's the beautiful thing about it. But I've taken quite a bit of wickets while I'm sitting here, I can tell you that.
Yes.
And Ode, well, while we have a break in the play itself, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was wonderful. I spent my Thanksgiving up in Atlanta. And, yeah, food and more food. And here I'm back in South Florida.
Well, I feel like the Lone Ranger here. I'm sitting between 2 family men who decided that Thanksgiving is a family day, and they're going to take the day, and either you have to do the bulk of the work. I have no choice but to be here. But indeed, I am a family man.
I owe you, Ivor.
So 37 balls remaining here. Amar Ullah comes to the middle. He joins Hassan Raza. Raza is on 32. Sonny Patel has gotten his first wicket. He's bowling at 1 for 4. So we are in over number 14 being bowled here by Patel, and Ullah gets a good ball. Ball goes bouncing out towards the offside, and he can't score. And Audley and Ivor, just to give you a sense of some of the big scores in this tournament, and you look at you look at the top 5 batsmen with the most runs of the tournament so far. Of course, we're into the final 2 matches. We've got Rizwan Chima with 198 runs. In fact, yesterday he slammed 122, so 198 for him. He stands at the top of the heap. Humayun Farhat, the brother of Imran Farhat, Pakistani international, 198 runs. And he has no future in this tournament anyway. So both Rizwan Chima and Farhat, they're gone. Both of their teams are knocked out. Even Brian Gale, number 3, with 178 runs. He has no future in this tournament. His team is knocked out. Hamza Tariq, 122 runs in this tournament. He's gone also. Rohan Mohite, 118 runs in this tournament. He is gone. And when you look at some of the alive players here, Hassan Raza, he stands on 114. So if Hassan Raza perhaps gets up to a 70 or 80 here today, he could be the man leading the most runs category. Also, Gajanan Singh, he needed 84 today. He got among the runs, but not enough. And also we see Jaskran Malhotra, he needed 72 to at least get into the top 5. He failed today. And we'll take a look at what Simmons needs to do and what Powell needs to do and what Taylor needs to do if they want to be in the heap of the top 5 runs getter in the U.S. Open 2016 series.
So it seems like we're going to have a bowling change. Santoki is at the top of his bowling mark. Umpire Samuels checking something there with the batsmen. They are in... Oh, the cameraman was in front. Naughty. So they would have get that sorted out over at the far end where the cameraman was behind the bowler's arm, and the batter...
No.
The batter would have none of that. And Santoki coming back for his second spell, but he would not have a 4-over spell like we would have seen in the previous game with one such bowler.
Yes, Ivor, you're talking about Gulbadin Naib. And I suspect when they come to play the final here later on, watch out for another 4-over spell from Gulbadin. The plan has worked, and I'm pretty sure they'll take whatever has worked, especially in the semi-final, to get into the final. 119 for 4 here. Hassan Raza is on 32 not out. He has batted well. And Santoki bowling at 2.1, 1 for 15 so far.
Yes, so Santoki with that left arm bowling over the wicket, and the batsman is getting some will on this, playing out to the cover point. The man from the backward point runs to his right, picks up. In the meantime, the batters with a cross for 1. The score goes on to 119 for 4. Brings the newcomer Yula on strike, and he will be facing Santoki. Santoki would have bowled 2.2 overs, 17 runs, and he's in the W column. W here means wicket.
So 34 balls remaining here. Ula is yet to get off the mark. He's faced 1 ball. Hassan Raza is on 33. He has batted well, the captain Hassan Raza. And as we made mention just the other day, ball going down the leg side will be called a wide. And as we mentioned, we have mentioned during the course of this tournament, the man Hassan Raza on record he holds a very distinctive record as being one of the youngest players to have played Test cricket, 14 days and 227 days.
Yes, indeed. And again, we just want to say high praises to Paul Mott for doing all the hard works behind the scene. And sometimes we tend to not mention the guys who you're not seeing or hearing. And we just have to say that scoreboard you're looking at, look as pretty as can be. And that's the way to go. We are moving on up. So we are moving on up like the Jeffersons. Even with ESPN, you can view the cricket if you're not in the vicinity of the Central Broward Regional Park.
So 33 balls remaining here is Santoki. Oh, that's a big shot. Good-looking shot here from Ula. It clears the playing area, goes up to straight mid-wicket. And that's a big shot from Ula. He goes up to 6. It's 126 for 4.
Yes, so getting off the mark with a 6 is telling me that the batter has all the confidence in the world, and he's not playing the name, but he's playing that 5.5-ounce leather.
So a good-looking shot here from Amar Ula. He goes up to 6. And ball turned into the offside, can't score. And that's the irony of cricket here. We saw Amar Ula using up some balls, yet to get off the mark. And with one scoring shot, he's striking at a very high strike rate. It's 126 for 4, 31 balls still to be bowled. And if you've just missed what has happened earlier on, Gajanan Singh, he made 33. Jaskaran without scoring. Akeem Dotson for 20. Dilhara for 21. And you're looking on your screen here, Amar Ula, he goes up to 7. Hassan Raza on 33. It's 127 for 4.
Yes, has come to the end of another Santoki over. He has put number 3 in the bank, and Audi has gone for 24 runs for his lone wicket.
Yeah, not Santoki's like, usually he's very tight and very hard to get away. But this time he has conceded 8 per over. Yeah. And you mentioned the scores, Ivor. I had it for my next item. They're working feverishly behind the scene. Very impressive. Just sometimes when you look at the screen.
And there's a swing and there's a loud appeal by Dennis Ramdin. And he's thinking and hoping that there was a nick on that one. But the umpire is unmoved. He did not see a thing. He didn't hear a thing. So all the jubilation was all in vain for Ramdin. He was jumping like a spring chicken. Still one of the better keepers in all of the Caribbean and probably worldwide. I can tell you that. Very unfortunate he's not on one of the West Indies team. I always thought that Ramdin should have been the ODI captain for West Indies. He's a tactical guy. He has a good cricketing head. He has a good cricket brain. So I think somewhere along the line they would have missed out.
Yes. So I was saying, Mr. David Maitland also, at times when we look at the screen, before we know it, the run was already added. We're waiting for the run to be added. We had to ask. It was already added. Very impressive, our scores.
Yes, workmanlike, hard-working David Maitland, been here since Thursday, so he joins me. We don't have a family. And this one is going aerial, but one bounce to the sweeper cover. He aborted the attempted catch. He did the right thing. He could have probably gone all the way, and the ball may have passed him. But earlier in the day, we would have seen an injury, and I had a talk with the young man, and he's in quite a bit of pain. You can see his shoulder all swollen, but he was on his way to the hospital. Let's hope that he is okay.
Well, also let's hope he is covered by Obamacare.
Well, and go past that, Audi would tell you, let's hope he's in the hands of the Lord.
Amen.
So it's 128 for 4. We are in over number 16, being bowled here by Sunny Patel.
And for the viewers, we know when we get off the cricket, you're not missing any cricket because it's been streamed live thanks to ESPN coming on board in the 8th year of the U.S. Cricket Council USA tournament.
So Patel continues, comes into bowl to Ula. Ula gets a ball outside the off stump, turning away. He doesn't play. And that completes over number 16. It's 129 for 4. 24 balls remaining. Ula is on 8. Hassan Raza is on 34. And we've got some 24 balls remaining. And oddly, just coming back here to the work done by David and our scoring staff here, they have certainly been efficient and very effective. And yes, you're right on that. The part of good scoring is anticipating when you see a ball going to the far areas of the cricket ground. Start scoring 2, start scoring 4s. And I think that's what exactly good scoring is, anticipating. And that is why signals from the umpires has to be very precise and very clear. There's something that the umpires refer to as pre-signals, in that, for example, a ball comes off the pad. You're not too sure if it came off the pad or the bat, but you see runs are being run in the middle. Some umpires, or most umpires, will start to give you an indication of what has happened. They'll start touching their leg. So you as a scorer, while you wait until play stops, you will already know that, get ready, this is a leg by. I know this umpire very well, and I know his style. So 24 balls remaining, make that 23. It's 131 for 4.
Indeed, you are so right. You are so right. There is a car show going on the outside. For those who you're here watching cricket or you want to go and enjoy the car show that's going on, you can come on down if you're viewing and you're a fan of beautiful cars, classic cars and so forth. Come on down and view the car show.
So Ricardo Powell, he comes back for another spell, and
And yes, he's been bowling on both ends, and he's trying to work the magic, and he's doing it the Darren Ganga way, I would say, keeping you guessing. Don't know who's going to come next, but he's been trying everything. He's been bowling over the wicket, he's bowling around the wicket. He has not jumped over the stump and bowled. So Ricardo Powell, captain in hand. We saw an inning, captain's inning last night. That's how he got to here. He and Lyndon Simmons put on a show to show you what batting and getting out of a hole, the way to do it. So any schoolboy who were looking last night, I'm sure they got a lesson, and they got it through ESPN last night.
So Raza is on 35. Captain of U.S. All-Stars. Leading from the front. It's 131 for 4. We've got 20 balls remaining. The winner here plays Al Masafi, the Afghan team. And in fact, the Afghan team, Ivor and Audley, they have returned back to their hotel to just perhaps to get some much needed rest, and they'll return here when this match is over.
Yes, and we're expecting to see a good finals. I think the better teams are here, and I'm going to say it again. The winner stays, and the loser goes home.
So 4 out of the 5 teams are in the semifinals from Group 1. And in fact, only Miami Sharks missing from the 5 franchise team group. And in fact, the competition this year was set up in such a way that all 5 teams in Group 1 would have advanced automatically to the QF stage, the quarterfinal stage. And so only Miami Sharks missing out on an opportunity to be playing here on this Sunday.
Yeah, they were replaced by the Dark Horse, Al Masafi, and we are saying they're in with a good chance. They're going to be well rested to take on the weary legs of whoever gets past this semi-final.
So Sonny Patel bowling at 1 for 17 off 3. He's bowled well, and in fact the other night, as we made mention, along with Carlito Lopez, Alexander, and Sonny Patel, they got 3 wickets each, and it was the man Sonny Patel who created a lot of problems and didn't seem to be understood by the batsman. And so now he comes in bowling at 1 for 18. This is his final over. 17 balls remaining. Ula, the man on strike, he's on 9, and we've seen a partnership of 16.
Yes, as Patel comes in, right, and he's swinging this one. He's getting a good hold of it. Yes, no, maybe. And he spills it, and it's rolling back. Did he go into the boundary board? We'll watch and wait. In the meantime, the batters would have crossed for 2.
I think that was a great attempt by the fielder down there, just missing out, and the ball went by, maybe in the boundary, waiting on the umpire.
No, they settled for 2. The umpire is satisfied that he did not touch the rope while he was touching the ball, so not a boundary there.
So 135 for 4, 16 balls remaining. An attempted cut goes through to Dinesh Ramden. Score remains at 135 for 4, 15 balls remaining. Lots of wicket in hand here. And US All-Star perhaps would want to accelerate. Ula and Hassan Raza. Raza is the set batsman.
1 wide.
But he's typically a stroke player more than anything else. 136 on the board. We've got 15 balls still remaining here as Ula and Hassan Raza battles Indian Lions. Indian Lions, of course, led by Ricardo Powell. And a well put together squad.
Beach cricket, bump ball, shouts coming from the crowd, but not out.
So we're here at the Central Broward Regional Park, international playing facility. And the ground, oh, that's a big shot here from Ula. He clears the wideish long on area. It goes a long way. It's out of the park. And it goes for a maximum here. He goes up to 17. It's 142 for 4.
Yes, that's a big shot. That's a big man shot. I'm telling you, he got maximum. He would have tried it earlier in the over, but he didn't get past the square leg. He didn't get over, he said, but this time he got all of it with these big heavy bats that they have this year.
So 13 balls remaining. Here is Patel. That's a better ball. Makes a good comeback. Ula remains on 17. The partnership has gone up to 25. So 12 balls remaining. And oddly, it's 143 for 4. In fact, 142 for 4 with a projected score of 158, 12 balls remaining.
Yes, that 6 moments ago, that was one of those that would have deserved an 8 if there was such a thing. You know, but real big hit. I know the projection is 158, but with 12 deliveries to go, I'm going to say they'll be hovering at 170. 12 deliveries, I'm saying 170. Regarding the Afghanistan team, you know, when we hear the name Afghanistan, it's always associated with Al-Qaeda or Taliban and so forth. Now it's totally different. When we hear about Afghanistan, we're talking about cricket, the great uniter, you know, uniting the people. And it's good to see that they are playing not just cricket, but great international cricket.
Yes, oddly. So 12 balls remaining. Chris Santoki has been given the ball. 3 overs, no made, none, 1 for 24. And so 12 balls remaining here. It's 142 for 4. And yes, oddly, you're right on that. Outside of the 10 test playing nation, all the way from Australia to Zimbabwe, you've got a pair of 2 top teams playing good cricket these days. And of course, you know where I'm going with this. One of them being Afghanistan and the other being Ireland. So if ever the way the setup is, it won't be long before both Afghanistan or perhaps Ireland and even Scotland be granted full one international status. And so you're right on that. Amidst the certainly the problems, the civil problems that Afghanistan has, and with the whole issue of how unsafe the Middle East and certainly Asia has become, one suspect that one of the bright things about Afghanistan is that the cricket team has arose and have climbed the associate ladder quite well in quick time.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things with the Afghanistan team that I have in common is Captain Mohammed Nabi. We share birthday, not the same year, but New Year's Day.
And not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, oddly, on that same note, we saw the Nepali national team here in the United States. They were in Texas, and they won the 2X series out at Musa Stadium. So we're beginning to see some of the associate playing nations coming into U.S.-based tournament.
Yes.
So ball played up towards a wide-ish third man area, trying to get an improvised shot in, a shot that goes not horribly wrong, but certainly not quite well. And they pick up a couple of runs at 145 for 4.
What went horribly wrong there was the overthrow. It was very unnecessary. But oddly say his birthday is on the 1st of the year. I don't think I want to be having a birthday on the 1st of the year. When that first day would have gone in the year, you have to wait until the whole of next year for another birthday. My word.
So 9 balls remaining here. Ula is on 19. 38 to Hassan Raza. A big swing and a miss. And now they will go through for what could be a leg bye. We'll wait and see. In fact, bye is the call. And as we have alluded to during the course of our broadcast here in a couple of days, that's a fielding error. Yes. Not going against the bowler. It's a bye.
Yeah, so but I can tell you what happened there, because Lyndon Simmons is reserving his strength for the batting, because if he would have been more alert and aggressive, he would have prevented that single.
So 8 balls remaining, and I wonder if we're having any athletics today.
Well, we have to get with Trini to get some noise starting outside, because that's how it started last night, with a big argument who was quicker. And like we said, 2 horses in the race, somebody has got to come second. You were saying last, but it was a first and a second.
So Indian Lions battling U.S. All-Stars. The news, Al-Masafi is into the final. We see what a weird way to get the ball back to the bowler. Lyndon Simmons, that wide third man, throws the ball all the way to long on, all the way to the fence. And then that ball comes back to Santoki. Never seen one of that.
And he had to stare down from the umpires like, are you deliberately wasting my time?
Oh, we've got to be careful in these days of international cricket. Oh, cut away. Nice looking shot. Driven through the offside from Hassan Raza. And he picks up another boundaries, 150 for 4.
Yes, Santoki guilty of overpitching there, going full to the bat. He has got to hit the turf. And we are asking the question now. Would this be the last delivery we are seeing in the tournament from Santoki? We'll have to watch and wait. He'll have to win this game to get into the finals. If not, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to ask him to take a bow. So the 20th over is going to be coming up now. It's going to be bowled by, or we're going to check that in a minute. But in the meantime, the 150 has come up on the board. And like I said, the US All-Star would have won the toss, elected to bat, trying to pose a total. So we're still looking to see who's going to be bowling. Oh, Danza Hyatt. Every time he comes down to bowl, as of last night, he was always in the wicket column. Already he's in the wicket column, getting a wicket, I think, was with his first ball.
Yes.
Yes, and now Ricardo Powell has entrusted everything into the hands of Danza Hyatt. Known for his batting, but he had a possible hat-trick last night.
A little change where Hyatt is concerned. Now he's known by his exploit as a bowler.
So 6 balls remaining here, 150 for 4.